Today's video is sponsored by Ugreen and their newest Nexod 140-watt charger, promising to charge your devices faster and safer with their thermal guard system scanning device temperatures 800 times per second, safeguarding your devices from overheating. It has a USB-A and 2 USB-C ports with the capability to deliver the full 140 watts over just a single USB-C connection, allowing you to charge a MacBook Pro 16-inch from 0 to 56% in just 30 minutes. That's 1.8 times faster than a traditional 65-watt USB-C laptop charger. Learn more about Ugreen's Nexod 140-watt charger by heading to the pinned comment or the first link in the video description below. So something has gone very wrong with my system. When I press the power button on my PC case, nothing happens. If I go and try to press the power button, that's on my motherboard right there, nothing happens. So the only way that you maybe have a chance of turning this PC back on is if you turn the power off. You turn the power back on, and then you press the power button, only for it to turn on, or at least attempt to turn on, for half a second before it turns off again. I don't know how this has happened. I was simply using the system maybe like 20 minutes ago, and now it isn't working anymore. It turned off seemingly out of nowhere, as if there was like a power cut or something, and yeah, it just went dark and hasn't turned back on since, apart from the half a second that it turns on for after you power cycled the whole power supply. So I have tried a couple things. Nothing has seemed to really work so far. I'm gonna rebuild the whole system, just try like reseat components, reseat cables, and fingers crossed we can get back online, because I do want to build inside of that new PC case that we have there. But first, ideally, I want a system that actually works. Fresh power cable. No. Well, the lights are back on. Yeah, the RAM is okay, so it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the PC. Why? Well, all right, in that case, I'm gonna try just plug the power in. Perhaps it's a peripheral. Perhaps it's a mouse or a keyboard. I have just put a new keyboard into the setup, so I suppose there is a chance that the keyboard has somehow, it's just, I don't know, the keyboard's not working with this PC. This is just with the power cable in, nothing else. So there was nothing wrong. The power cable's fine, it looks fine. It's rated for 13 amps. The fuse is correct, I've checked myself. So everything is okay. It just decided to stop working for a while there. Plugging in the Type-C. Yeah, look, we're back online. As if nothing happened. I've plugged in every cable back into the PC. And everything's fine now, but hey, we seem to now be back online. As if nothing happened. I was convinced that, yeah, the power supply just gave up on me there. It's like, yeah, I'm out, I've had enough.
And I should pull these out, yeah?
They are not cables. They're not cables. Do not pull them out. All right, so this is the Hyte Y60. It is smaller than the case I just had. So this is my previous PC case, the Lian Li O11 Dynamic XL. It's the big version of the normal O11 Dynamic. Here we have the Hyte Y60. It's not as tall. Also, we will be able to mount, I think, less fans in there as opposed to this massive case. This I had 10 fans in. In this new one, I think it's gonna be 8, if not less, maybe 9 or 8. At the back here, we have a pre-installed fan, I think a 120mm. Now, the way the card is gonna be mounted is vertically, so it's gonna look kind of different to what it looked like in my previous build. It does come with a PCIe extender as well to allow it to be vertically mounted. I think you can only vertically mount your graphics card in here. There is no other way. That is the only way to really do it. But apart from that, it does look rather unique in a sense where they have like storage labeled right here. And then, that's easy. No screws needed. Very easy to access everything. There is a screw here. I think maybe you gotta undo this. This is where I undo this and the glass just falls out and smashes. It's time to look at the manual. I don't know how to take this actual glass off. You remove the screw, then you lift it up. Oh. We did it. We got it out. That was easy to actually get it out once I figured out how. There are 3 screws located here, here and here. I'm gonna undo them and hope that that releases the glass. It's always sort of dodgy when you work with tempered glass. All right, they were definitely holding that glass in. There's a screw here, there's a screw here. I think you have to undo them, these two, to remove this other piece of glass. I think it's also screwed in here. Oh, well, got there in the end. After a painful time removing all the glass, we have access to the rest of this. During shipping, it comes with this, just to keep the PCIe extension in place. If you come closer, this part is actually shielded as well. During shipping, you can then move this around and store your actual motherboard and then pop this in to the PCIe slot. It is PCIe Gen 4, so I think even up to an RTX 4090 can be slotted in here, and you shouldn't lose any performance through this extension cable. We have this whole bottom part of the case. This pops out like this. We have 2 fans in here already. And then of course a 3rd fan there for exhaust, 2 intakes. So you can only mount 2 fans at the bottom, although they can be 140mm. These are both 120mm, but there is enough space here to add bigger fans. These could also be 140mm. So I might need to upgrade my fans to bigger ones because this case supports it. Then we'll have 1 here as exhaust, and then 3 more at the top as exhaust as well, mounted onto the radiator. I think the radiator itself will sit in this indentation in the case. The tubes, I think, will be coming out of here, down through here, into the CPU cooler itself. And then the fans will actually be mounted here. So that does mean the fans that are on that radiator there in the corner, I need to take them off, then reattach them all onto this bracket. The dust filter is built in. See all that small mesh inside of here? It's a non-removable dust filter. It will impede airflow ever so slightly, which isn't good. It would be sick if this was removable, like in, I think, every other case ever. As for the bottom piece, yeah, that's off the bottom. I'm not going to be attaching this thing back on. I'm running a very power-hungry system, and I have ran temperature testing on the previous case, which I'm going to be running temperature testing on this case as well, to see how they perform in terms of the actual component, the temperature of the graphics card and the CPU and everything else. But I will not be installing this filter back on. I would remove all of them, but you can't in this case. I have these LED strips from Razer that I wanted to mount on the bottom of this case, sort of like Underglow. Okay, I think that one is trimmed. Yeah, that one's trimmed. So it's ever so slightly smaller. I do have 1 meter in total here, but ideally I want it to be one continuous unit, and these are 50 centimeters each. And the idea I had was to stick this on the bottom of the case, so it doesn't actually sit that high off of the actual table. Here are the actual legs that this case has. Again, unique design. I do like it. However, this LED strip is it's pretty thick. Yeah, this LED strip would then become the new legs for the PC case if I installed it. So that kind of ruins that plan, unless I knock my screwdriver over and install thicker rubber pieces here to elevate the case off of the table more. Because when it's sitting here, for example, it's not already elevated that high off of the table. I can just about maybe fit my fingers underneath there. Whereas with the previous one from Lian Li, you can fit, yeah, I can fit nearly my hand under there. If the dust filter wasn't there, I could probably slide a lot more of my hand underneath, which is good because this is how the case breathes and actually gets air. So yeah, I might be looking into possibly trying to elevate this case in some way so that I can add underglow LED lighting all underneath it, which was my original plan. We'll come back to this project another time. And speaking of RGB and everything and LED lights, the case itself, I don't think comes with any sort of lights anywhere built in. Would have been cool to have underglow already built in. I feel like it would look pretty good on this case. It looked very nice on my previous one, but yeah, no RGB, no LEDs anywhere. I suppose a way to save money. If you want lights, you can add lights. If you don't want them, you can, not install them, or of course just turn them off or never turn them on in the first place. Don't plug them in if you don't want any lights anyway. But that's pretty much everything. I know how I'm going to install my fans. Just got to take the top piece off and get the radiator mounted and everything put together. These are very, very cheap fans. I wonder if they're even PWM. so you can actually control the speed. From what I heard, they're not, and yeah, they use a 3-pin connector and not a 4-pin fan connector. You can't control the speed of this, just a cheap fan. I think Gamers Nexus or someone I watched said they really should have saved money and not included these whatsoever. It is an expensive case, so I guess most people building in this will probably have their own fans that they're gonna be wanting to put in and not use these cheap ones. Like, I'm not gonna ever use this. And I imagine for most people, they're not gonna ever use it either. We have some cables that also come out of this case. It is, the USB-C cable, the USB 3.0 cable. We have HD audio, and then we have the front panel, all as one unit. Thank you, Hyte. Very thoughtful, makes life easy. In terms of cable management, of course, these fans that I'm using now come with 2 cables each.
Because the other one was going for like this.
Wow. Do not look behind. Don't go behind. No, don't think you should be going there. You don't want to see what's back there. Alright, so as you can see, the PC build has been a very big success. We even installed the Underglow LED lighting that was actually quite easy. Once I managed to elevate the actual PC case off of the table just a little bit, managed to get enough room to squeeze in the Razer LED light strip to add Underglow. There we have it. I've set everything to the rainbow wave effect through a bunch of different software. The system itself in this Hyte case looks damn good. It just looks so much better, so much more modern, and just like a fresh look for the whole setup. Really good looking case. Pretty easy to build in as well. I really like just the openness of the whole case. I'm now looking into potentially getting bigger 140mm fans to install here. I still really want to keep some of these X-shaped fans, even though I kind of doubt that they're the best performing fans out there. I'm sure there are much better performing fans on the market that you could buy. I have installed alternative fans in the bottom from Arctic. They're the P140s. I'll leave them linked in the description down below, alongside every other component in this PC build will be linked down below as well. And you got to bear in mind that if you had like an RTX 4090 or just a triple slot card in general, this is, I think, a 2.5 slot card, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty big, you know, it is an RTX 3090, but if you had a triple slot, you would really leave not much room in between the actual card and the fans and the glass side panel. Like already this is really kind of pushing it, if you can see what I mean. But without glass, you obviously don't have that problem. I can't get enough of how different the whole build looks, even though we pretty much haven't changed anything apart from the case. We still have Underglow, we still have, you know, all the same components. It just looks miles better in this Hyte Y60 than it did in that Lian Li case we had before.